Excellent. Okay. Hi, Karen. So we are live.
Yes,
Thank
we
you
are.
so much for being here. It's such an honor, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And also, it's such an honor to have you here tonight. I'm sure that this video, or actually live chat, will be very useful for a lot of people who are looking for um, unique online business out there, or they would like to hear from a master, a successful business owner, and then they can just go with their gut and see if this is the right fit or not. Just a quick information and actually introduction about myself. My name is Yasmin, and I live in Idaho in United States. And I've been in real estate for a few years, and I started this online business a few months ago. And in fact, in a month, it's going to be my anniversary. So I'm very excited. It's been an amazing journey. I don't want to take your time long, Karen. I just wanted to either, if you would like me to introduce, or please go ahead, floor is yours. Just please go ahead and introduce yourself to our audiences. And I just want to sit here and listen to your words. Go ahead, please.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Yasmin, for having me here today. It's always a pleasure and an honor to, come on our fellow business owners page just to share my journey or my story. And using the word as a master, I don't claim to be one because, to be honest, I'm no special or no different than you or anybody out there that's watching me. I think we're all just connected by one goal, really, is to be able to, earn a living online or earn an income online, so that we have that time flexibility and freedom to have the income stability to provide for our family, but without sacrificing all of our time. So my name is Karen, and I currently lived in BC, Canada, on the West Coast, so opposite of you. And by profession, I'm a dental technician. So I actually work in the corporate world for about 10 years right out of college. And life is good, make good money. But until I had children, then that changes everything. Because before I had kids, I always envisioned myself as a mom that's going to be there, walk them to school, pick them up after school, and get to come into the class and be the special helper. But with work, it didn't allow me to do that. So I took a really big leap into and become my own boss. So I opened up my own dental lab where I work from home. So I thought this was the perfect setup. I work for myself, I work from home, so I have all the time I need, that I want it to be there for my kids. But it didn't go as planned. So if there's any small business owner out there, you will know that as a small business owner, you wear many hats, and that takes up a lot of time. So besides just my day-to-day dental lab work, where I work in the lab, you have to manage the billing, the marketing, the shipping, and the paperwork, right? So it eats up a lot of my time. And after a while, I find myself actually working all the time, 7 days a week, 10 to 12, 16 hours a day. And I realized this isn't not what I signed up for. But at that time, I just felt really stuck, because life in Canada, or I'm sure the same for you in America, or just about anywhere in the world, it's expensive. And we all need to work to provide for our families. So I just felt like I was stuck. There was no other way, whether I go back to work or I work for myself, I need to work to have that income to provide for my family. So I just continued to do that for a few more years. And then until my daughter entered high school, that's when I realized this is not working for me, because I realize if I don't do something about it now, I'm going to look back, when they're off to college, I'm going to live with so much regrets. Why did I let, all these times slip by without spending time with them? So that's when I started looking for other ways. And to be honest, doing anything online was not on my list, because I'm not tech savvy. I've never done anything online. And to be honest, I didn't even have Facebook when I started this business. So it wasn't my list, but by God's grace, I came across this business, and with a lot of skepticism and doubts and not knowing if I can do it, I checked it out with a very open mind. And I realized that, I've got nothing to lose, because I love the flexibility of this. That means that I can continue to do my dental lab while I start this business, because I get to decide when and where I want to work. with my crazy schedule, I was able to still manage to fit this in with a bit of sacrifice, having a little bit less sleep. So spending an hour or two every night to do the training, get my business set up and running. But fast forward 3.5 years later, that's how long I've been doing this business now. It's been a true blessing because my life, or our lives, has been changed drastically. And I'm just so grateful because I don't, I would probably still be stuck working in my lab if it wasn't for this business. Mm-hmm. So obviously the financial gain was exceptional because with that financial earning or gain, it allows me to free up my time. Like I don't have to be a slave to my dental lab anymore. So I was able to scale back, cut back my dental lab work, which frees up more of my time for my kids and my family. And the biggest, impact that it has done for me recently is that I was able to move back to where my parents and my siblings and all my friends were, because 10 years ago when I started my dental lab, we had to move out of the city because it was just too hard in the city to survive as a small dental lab. So we moved about an hour away. So, it was hard. So I'm sorry about that. So, but and prices of housings never went down. Obviously, the city is more expensive than when you go in the rural area, but because of this business, we were able to move back, and it's been a true blessing. And I just couldn't be happier because we can always make more money, but you can never ever buy back the time that you've lost. So I'm just so grateful that I have been given this, I guess you can say, a second chance to be able to create those memories with my kids again. And all of that is thanks to this amazing online business out there. So that's a little bit about me and my journey and why I started this business over 3 years ago. So I'm not sure, what you want to ask or anything you want me to share with your audience today.
Well, Karen, what you were, your story can, is that the word resilient? I learned that word recently, actually, to some people. So, it's really amazing. You may not know how much your conversation, and that's why I'm referring to master, because your conversation, your words, your story, your, anything, your experiences that you've had, these all can impact someone else's life, and you would never know that. So when I watched the first webinar, when I decided to get into this business, you were part of that decision for me. You made this decision a little bit easier for me. I've been watching, because our webinars just continually getting updated, but that particular webinar that got me to this business, you were part of it. So and that's why I lost you for a second, but I was talking, so don't worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, so I was just telling you that sometimes you don't know how much your wording, your telling your stories and sharing your experiences can impact other people's life and their decision. So because somehow they find something in common with you as a speaker, and that's why we always go with this live interviews, because we would like to share our experiences, our stories, our challenges, different things. For people who are watching this live chats, and then to help them make their decision if they wanted to get into this particular online world. I'm not talking about other businesses because I'm not representing those, but anyhow, this is amazing. You actually said everything right, and I remember when you told your story back then, or in one of our webinars, because now I can see, wow, how interesting it is that it's been a year when I saw Karen first, and now where she was telling the story, and now she got back, and then she's close to family. This is a journey. This is just so beautiful and rewarding. This is one of the most comprehensive online business out there. So it's really good for our audiences. If they're looking for a new approach, if they're looking for a plan B, if they're looking for, just to start their online business, either along with their current business or their current job, this is it. So it's always better to, and I learned it that it's good to be, cautious and, just be, afraid of fear and risk to some level, to some stage, because more than that, then it holds you back from, the opportunities that can raised and welcome you to that, and you never know that that can change your life, to turn it upside down for good. So I'm so happy that I'm in this business, and I've had a long journey as well. And you mentioned that this is so right. I mean, for people who would like to know about this business, this is a business. This is not a job. So no one can expect a 2 weeks or every once a month, paycheck coming. This is a business. So even if someone has, like your lab or, the coffee shop or restaurant, you can expect like, every 2 weeks, something, the paycheck's coming from who exactly? I mean, you're the business owner, and luckily we have an amazing and incredible automated system that has like 70-80% working automatically. And then but we have to be the captain, and we have to start it. We have to do that 10-30% due diligence on our end, so this start working, and then we can start getting back. And this is just amazing. And so, Karen, if you would like to just, however you wanted to tell about the package, this system we're working with, and how we can take benefit of it, what does it offer, how can we leverage it? Please go ahead. Anything that when we get on board, as a business owner, what do we get, and then how things are just going in this world.
Sure. So, you know what? This business has been around for years, and it's literally been designed by the expert to help the ordinary, average people like yourself and me
Yes,
get up and running in the online space. So you don't, we always mention you don't need to be tech savvy to be able to do this. You don't need to have business experience to be able to do that, because we provide for you all the trainings and tools, right? And, we've got video, step-by-step training for you. And the amazing thing on top of that is that everyone that joins this business is assigned a mentor and a coach. So you will always have someone there to help guide and support you along your journey. So if you ever get stuck in the training, even though it's super simple, but I know as when I started, when I was new, I doubt myself. I wasn't sure if I could do it. So whenever I do something and if I'm unsure, I was like, okay, did I do this correct? So it's always nice to have someone there to reassure you, yes, you're doing it right. Because sometimes I think we are the worst critics of ourselves, and we have the least amount of faith in ourselves. And just to have that support and to have someone there, to back you up and to tell you, you're on the right track, you're doing good. Because like what I totally agree with you, how you say that, it's good to have a bit of skepticism in anything, because you don't want to be too gullible and fall for everything that's out there. Because the reality and the truth is there are scams out there online, and that's the fear that people are afraid of. And that's what holding back a lot of people from checking it out or taking a leap of faith and doing it out. So our business is designed with, simple step-by-step, so that you can go at your pace, and also you can learn more about the business and what's comfortable for you. So the first step is just to, go to Yasmin's website and register for our free webinar. So it's free. You don't have to pay anything for it. The only investment you're going to make is 90 minutes of your time to watch this webinar. And I'm sure, after the webinar, you will walk away with a lot of value, a lot of information, even if you don't plan to pursue it, because at least you have the knowledge and the information to actually evaluate other online business model out there. But in the case that if this is still of interest for you and you would like to get started, then the next step is you pay a one-time membership fee of $149. Then you get, to get the inside peek of our community. So it's in a way you get to test drive, you get to check out the system before you actually jump fully on board. So it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you have that whole 30 days to check it out, ask all your questions, do all your research, do your due diligence, because it's something new, and we should come in here with a cautious but an open mind. So that's why we do give you that opportunity, that 30 days to check it out. So, when after you pay, you'll get added to our community Facebook group. We've got over 100,000 members in it, like all over the world. And who knows, you might see a friend or a neighbor in there that you don't know, because we've had a lot of that before, right? So you can just listen to many, many more success or inspiring stories, just like myself or Yasmin there, of other members in our community that's using this exact same system and earning like a 5-figure a month income, a 6-figure a year income, leveraging this business, working only like 2 to 3 hours a day on it, because this is all thanks to the internet, to automation, and to system that is doing all that work behind the scene for you, right? So a business that works even while you're sleeping. So after you check out that 30 days, and if this is for you, then you can take the next step and do that one-on-one coaching call with one of our coaches that's gonna pan out a roadmap for you, for your business, for what's best for you, because everybody's situation is unique. What you want out of this business may be different from than what I would like. Like for me, the main thing was that just to have another source of income so I can cut back my dental lab hours. I wasn't looking to get rich because I don't believe there is such thing as a get rich quick. And if you're looking for something like that, you're just setting yourself up for a disappointment, and also to be taken advantage of. Because we are learning to work smarter and not harder, but it's still, the word there is still, you still need to work, because there is no easy peasy, easy system that you do nothing and money just start rolling in, because that is not sustainable. Even though we do make lucrative income, but there is work involved. But the work that we do compared to the traditional 9-to-5 job is minimal. I mean, part of my work here is doing this live interview with Yasmin, and I don't really think of that as work. So that is what we get to do.
Fun.
Yes, we get to.
It is serious. Don't get me wrong, but it is fun. You're getting to know different people from all over the world. Now, I don't feel like if I go to Australia, I know one person maybe in Melbourne, like two people in Sydney. It's just like, I know that if hopefully when things get settled, the way I'm talking, like settled, then we can really travel, and we can really get to have a chance to see our business partners in person, which is amazing. And I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's exactly, the whole point, Karen, you mentioned, is that we really need to be realistic, not idealistic. And then what you just mentioned is that, yes, we need investment. Yes, we need to invest time and energy and effort. Yes, there's no such thing that overnight. If there's such thing, please share with us. Consider this online business. So we have to, just take our steps and through this journey, we have to really think about it like realistically, not idealistically. And then, as you mentioned, but the thing is that when we put that effort, we definitely, this is very rewarding. So then we're going to see all that like amazing milestones and all the celebratings and things that mostly the business partners know more, because we're into it, and we don't share a lot of our kind of like private things out of the company. But it's just amazing. So it's been really good. And something very small I want to tell you, it may sound silly, but it's actually kind of, it makes me laugh too. English is my second language, and there's no perfect. I don't think even anyone can speak in Farsi, which is my native language, like fluently. Things are even changing in languages too. And then, so for us to move to a country with like English, speaking as a native language, and then learning all the words and slangs, and getting familiar with accents and all those stuff. The night I was just looking at the webinar, watching the webinar, and then you were talking, you have no idea how much I rewinded, and then I wrote down your sentences. It sounds like I'm being talking, but the way you were speaking, you were talking, it was so powerful, and then very straightforward to the point. And I really would love to understand, and then I wrote it down and I repeated it a few times so I can use those words, and then just to speak in a better way. So anyhow, I just wanted to let you know that
Thank you.
It's really good, because you have very good impact and other successful business partners on the newbies or people that are watching this live chat. Anyhow, so Karen, in one sentence, if you would like to just overly say that what are we doing? I mean, the online business we are doing, what are we focused on? Because we talk about benefits, and then sometimes people are like, okay, so it's online business. Oh, there are a lot of benefits that's perfect. So what are we doing then? If you kindly talk about that too.
Sure. So, as an online business owner through this system, what we do is that we are attraction marketers, right? So, we are not trying to sell anybody anything. All you're doing is connecting and sharing with other people online that may or may not be looking for an online business. You know, there's always people may not be like directly looking for something online, but who knows, they might come across your Facebook feeds or your advertisement, because that's what we're doing. We're marketers, and it may inspire them. You know, your story may inspire them to check out the business, because for many people, they think they cannot do online because they are not technical savvy. But when they come across someone that they feel very similar to them, that had no technical background but able to leverage this amazing system and start their business from scratch, it may inspire them to take that action and do it themselves. So that's all you do. Is your job is very simple. Is just to inspire, share, and connect with other that there is another way to earn a living, and we don't need to trade all of our time to earn a living. So basically, that's all we do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And then we can sit down and talk about this business for hours, because while you're speaking, I can actually look into it in depth, and I can see how much it has like a lot of good results and impact in our lives, not only as far as as far as financing, income, skills that we're learning, but even beyond this box, out of this box, how much it affects our personality, and how we're just like keep changing in this journey, along with what we're learning as like a skills. But so in general, what is your best advice for the audiences who are watching this webinar? What would you like to tell them? Anything inspiring, anything that if you were sitting the other side, if you would listen to it, you're like, yes, this is it.
Sure. You know what? I always say follow your instinct, follow your gut feeling, because obviously you'll come across a lot of things. But if you're at nighttime, if you're thinking back to this interview, or you're thinking about this business, or you're following Yasmin's page, that means there is something that is pulling you towards it. So, listen to that inner feeling and check it out, because like I mentioned earlier, you've really got nothing to lose. We've made it, like, set it up a way that it's risk-free for people to check it out. So, I mean, like you said, there's always going to be some cautious and skepticism, but don't let that prevent you from, checking out this amazing opportunity that's been life-changing for so many of us. And we just want to be able to share this with you in hopes that it can do the same for you as it did for me and my family.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Karen. I think that the last thing I would like to ask, and you already mentioned it though, so if someone wants to start, what would be the first step? We had a little bit of that conversation, but if you kindly go through the steps from the beginning, I appreciate it.
Sure. So if you are curious or you would like to know more, just click on Yasmin's link, or leave us a comment. Yeah, leave a comment below, and I'm sure we can connect and send you all the info and the details on how to register for the next webinar. We do host live webinar 2 times a week, live every week. But if it doesn't work out with your time zone, we always have a replay that we can send you after. So it's convenient. That's the beauty of online. You work around your own schedule. So that's the first step. So take that leap of faith, leave us a comment and then register for that webinar and just watch that 90 minutes, because it's been life-changing for me, and I'm sure it will do the same for you.
Thank you so much, Karen. Well, again, we can sit down and talk about this business for hours. I mean, anything you're saying, I think about a lot of things to share, but I feel like, we already talked about 24 minutes, but I really appreciate your time, Karen. And I'm hoping that in the future, soon, anytime, I would like to have you again. So then we can share some, more about our journeys. But I really appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Yasmin, and thank you everyone for watching, and good luck.
Thank you. Have a good night.